Have you always wondered about the love life of Tyra Banks, the supermodel who rocked the modeling industry for more than 2 decades? In this video, you will find all you need to know about her and her love life. Like most models, Tyra Banks found love with a millionaire, Erik Asla, but how did they meet? And are they still together? Lastly, what does their son look like today? Make sure to watch this video to the end to find out. How Tyra and her partner met. Tyra and Erik's love story began in 2013, when their professions made their paths cross. Erik had worked on multiple seasons of America's Next Top Model, the show that Tyra created and hosted. Their shared passion for fashion and entertainment was the first thing that brought them together. Soon, what started as a professional relationship slowly grew into a romantic one. However, Tyra and Erik were highly private about their growing relationship, preferring to keep their personal lives out of the spotlight. They managed to maintain a low profile for several years, even as the media speculated about Tyra's personal life. From the start, Tyra and Erik were committed to keeping their relationship private, especially as Tyra's love life has always been under the microscope of the public. In interviews, Tyra has expressed how much she values her personal life as being separate from her public persona. Erik, too, was not one to seek the limelight, preferring to focus on his work behind the camera rather than becoming a public figure himself. The early days of their relationship were pretty normal, as neither of them took anything too seriously. Despite their success and public status, they enjoyed a life away from the flashing cameras, rarely making public appearances as a couple. Even when they attend events together, they intentionally avoid walking the red carpet together in a bid to keep their romance out of the public eye as much as possible. Apart from physical appearance, they were also careful about their social media presence. While Tyra was active on social media, she was careful not to share intimate details about her relationship with Erik, like date nights or weekend getaways. This approach allowed them to build a strong and stable foundation away from the pressures of being celebrities. Despite their efforts to maintain privacy, Tyra's high profile meant that rumors and speculation about her personal life were inevitable. The media, always eager for stories about celebrity relationships, frequently reported on her love life, with Erik often becoming a subject of interest. However, what was interesting in the meddling business of the media was that their reports about them were always untrue. Imagine struggling frantically to get an exclusive ahead of other media houses, only to put out fake news. As their relationship grew, the public and the media often speculated about whether Tyra and Erik would get married. People wanted to know if the couple, who seemed so solid, were planning to take the next step. However, Tyra had always been open about her views on marriage, saying that while it's important for some people, it wasn't necessarily a priority for her. Tyra focused more on the happiness and stability of her family, rather than conforming to societal expectations. She once said in interviews that marriage wasn't something she needed to feel complete, especially after becoming a mother. Erik seemed to share a similar outlook, and they didn't feel pressured to make their relationship official in the eyes of the law. But before we go further into their relationship and parenthood, what do their personal lives look like? The early life of Tyra Banks and rise to fame. Tyra Lynn Banks was born on the 4th of December 1973 in Inglewood, California. She was raised in a working-class family. However, her parents separated when she was just 6 years old. Through all these challenges, her mother and father remained committed to providing a stable and supportive environment for Tyra and her older brother Devin. As an adult, Tyra has spoken fondly of her mother, Carolyn London, who played her motherly role quite well. Not only that, she gave her mother the credit for how much self-confidence and work ethic she has. Growing up, Tyra faced insecurities about her appearance. She has often talked about her awkward teenage years. She said she never loved her height and lean figure. She spent those years feeling unattractive. Oftentimes, she was teased by classmates, and as time went by, she started struggling with self-esteem. This continued until she turned 15, and then something unexpected happened. Tyra's physical appearance began to change. She had developed the tall, striking figure that would eventually make her a standout in the modeling world. With this, her confidence began to return to the point where she began to nurture the idea of becoming a model. At the age of 17, Tyra began her modeling career. At first, she signed with some agency that treated her shabbily, but after a while, she signed with Elite Model Management. Almost immediately, she captured attention with her unique look and walk on the runway. In 1991, she made the bold decision to move to Paris to further pursue modeling. Within her first season, she booked 25 runway shows during Paris Fashion Week. For a model of her status, that was an extraordinary feat that even old cats envied. From 1994 to 1996, Tyra became one of the first Black models to achieve global recognition. She graced the covers of prestigious magazines like Vogue and Elle. Also, she became a regular on the runways of luxury brands like Chanel, Versace, and Dior. However, one of her most notable accomplishments was breaking into the world of Sports Illustrated. In 1996, she became the first Black woman to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. Once she secured this spot, she became one of the most sought-after supermodels in the industry. Beyond the runway, Tyra's ambition drove her to pursue acting. She was first featured on the sitcom titled The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1993. Then in 1995, she made her film debut in the drama Higher Learning. After that, Tyra landed major roles in films like Coyote Ugly in year 2000. One of Tyra Banks' most notable achievements is her work in modifying the modeling industry. As a Black woman, she faced barriers that many white models didn't, but she used her platform to challenge those limitations. Tyra's groundbreaking success in landing coveted modeling gigs from popular brands like Victoria's Secret to becoming the first Black woman on the cover of GQ was an inspiration to women of color, especially aspiring models. In year 2003, Tyra took her career to new heights by launching the reality TV show she called America's Next Top Model. The show, which she also hosted and produced, became a star show that ran for 24 seasons. It was a platform where she not only molded the careers of aspiring models, but also mentored young women, encouraging them to embrace their uniqueness and inner beauty. You know, she had to cross some internal and external hurdles herself, and when she got to the peak of her career, she thought it best to hold others by the hand to help them overcome their struggles too. And how did she do this? You might want to ask. America's Next Top Model pushed the boundaries of the fashion industry by embracing models of diverse body types, races, and backgrounds. Tyra's entrepreneurial spirit didn't stop there. She expanded her brand by launching her cosmetics line, Tyra Beauty, in 2014. She also didn't stop educating herself. Tyra went on to enroll in Harvard Business School's Owner-President Management program and graduated at the end of the program. Throughout her career, Tyra has done so many commendable things, like using her platform to advocate for self-love, inclusivity, and women empowerment. In addition to these achievements, Tyra's philanthropic efforts, especially her T-Zone Foundation, have supported young women in developing life skills and leadership qualities. All of these accomplishments contributed to the legacy that Tyra Banks continues to build, both in her professional life and as a mother to her son, Banks Asla. Who is Tyra Banks' millionaire partner? As a successful model, Tyra Banks had the opportunity to meet different men who were equally successful in their endeavors. Throughout her life, she has dated actors, male models, photographers, and businessmen. Certainly, if she settled for her son's father, she must have been hooked on something. Let's find out. Erik Asla is a talented and accomplished photographer who was born and raised in Norway. Erik has built a successful career capturing images of some of the most famous faces in the world. His passion for photography started in his home country before moving to Paris to hone his craft. Eventually, Erik relocated to Los Angeles, where he became a prominent name in the world of fashion and editorial photography. Erik's work has been featured in top publications, including Vogue, Vanity Fair, and Elle, the same brands Tyra Banks has worked with. He has earned a reputation for his ability to capture raw, emotional moments through his lens, making him a sought-after photographer for both celebrities and fashion brands. Unlike many of the millionaires or businessmen that typically dominate headlines, Erik Asla built his fortune through a more artistic route. He combined his creative eye with an entrepreneurial spirit. His extensive portfolio, particularly in high-fashion shoots, editorial spreads, and advertising campaigns, helped him carve out a niche in the world of photography, earning both critical acclaim and financial success. The birth of their son. While Tyra Banks had always dreamed of becoming a mother, her journey into motherhood was not an easy one. Tyra has often spoken openly about her struggles with fertility. She shared how she tried to have a baby naturally, but faced difficulties along the way. As time passed and she approached her 40s, Tyra realized that becoming a mother was not going to be as easy as she hoped. She and her partner, who had already fathered 3 other children, explored several options and eventually turned to in vitro fertilization. Even then, the journey was tough, and Tyra spoke about how emotionally draining the process could be. Despite all the challenges, Tyra remained determined. She wanted to have a family, and she wasn't ready to give up on that dream. In January 2016, Tyra's dream of becoming a mom finally came true when she and her partner, Erik Asla, welcomed their son, whom they named Banks Asla, into the world. York was born via surrogate, a decision Tyra and Erik made after Tyra's many attempts to have a baby. Tyra shared the news with her fans in an emotional Instagram post, expressing her gratitude for their surrogate and her joy at becoming a mother. Tyra's message was very emotionally touching to many, as she described how much York meant to her. After years of wanting to be a mom, she finally had her baby boy in her arms. She called York her miracle baby and talked about how much she and Erik were in love with their new son. York's arrival brought immense happiness to their lives, and Tyra couldn't stop gushing about how motherhood had changed her. As someone who has always wanted it, motherhood became a central part of Tyra's life after York was born. She shared in interviews how much she loves being a mom and how York brought a new kind of joy into her world. Tyra often spoke about how being a mother is the most important role she's ever had, even more than her career as a supermodel and businesswoman. Tyra has been very open about the deep love she has for her son. In various interviews, she described how she feels when York calls her mama and how special their bond is. She's been very mindful of raising York to be kind, compassionate, and confident. Tyra often talks about how she wants York to grow up in a world where he knows he is loved and supported, and she's been dedicated to making sure he has the best upbringing possible. Getting used to parenthood in the spotlight. As soon as York was born, media attention on Tyra and Erik grew. Being a public figure, Tyra was used to the media, but this time it was different. She wanted to protect her son from the intense spotlight that often follows celebrities. Both Tyra and Erik agreed to keep York's life private and out of the public eye as much as possible. They didn't share too many photos of York and avoided having him in front of the cameras. Tyra even said in interviews that she wanted to give her son a normal childhood, away from the pressures of being in the media. While she occasionally shared small glimpses of her life as a mother, she made sure that York's privacy was respected. However, despite their efforts to keep things private, the media remained interested in their family. Tyra and Erik were forced to work hard to find a balance between their public lives and their roles as parents. They focused on giving York a peaceful upbringing, even though the public was always curious about their son. Tyra and Erik separated in the year 2017, but even at that, they continued to co-parent York. Tyra has said that they have been able to work together for the sake of their son, ensuring that he has the love and support of both his parents. While their romantic relationship may have ended, their commitment to raising York remained an enviable one. Raising Banks Asla. Tyra Banks has always talked about the importance of instilling strong values in her son, Banks Asla. Tyra wants York to grow up understanding the value of hard work, kindness, and empathy. Having experienced fame and success, Tyra is determined to keep York grounded, teaching him to appreciate life beyond material wealth and public attention. Also, Tyra from the beginning has been hell-bent on raising York with an admirable sense of self. She believes in nurturing his individuality while teaching him to be thoughtful and considerate of others. For Tyra, York must grow up in an environment where he feels supported, loved, and encouraged to follow his path. One of the main principles Tyra emphasizes is the importance of self-love and confidence. She has shared in interviews such as Late Night with Seth that she wants York to grow up believing in himself, especially in a world that can be tough and judgmental. Tyra, who has faced her own challenges with body image and criticism throughout her career, understands how important it is to build resilience in her son. By teaching York to love himself, she believes he will be able to grow with confidence. Since both parents are separated, how did they raise their son together? First, both Tyra Banks and Erik Asla have demanding careers, but even with that, they have always made sure to spend time with their son. Tyra has been open about how much she loves being a mom, and she makes sure that family time is a priority, no matter how busy her schedule gets. For Tyra, it's all about balance. While she continues to work on various projects, including her ventures in television and business, she curates quality time for York. Whether it's taking him to the park, spending quiet days at home, or going on small trips together, she ensures that York feels her presence in his life. Even when she's juggling multiple projects, Tyra is mindful of creating a family atmosphere where York feels secure. She has expressed that being a mom comes first, and she doesn't mind turning down work opportunities if it means being able to spend more time with her son. In the same vein, Erik, despite his busy career, has remained an active part of York's life, and both parents work together to balance their professional and personal responsibilities. Although Tyra has kept much of York's life private, she has shared a few glimpses into his milestones and personality. From the moment York arrived, she posted a picture on Instagram with a caption that said, "He has her hand and fingers while he has his father's chin and mouth." As he continued to grow, Tyra described York as curious, energetic, and full of personality. Like many young kids, he has a playful spirit, and Tyra has talked about how much joy he brings to her life with his laughter. As for his education, Tyra has been careful to ensure that York receives the best possible schooling. She values education highly and has said that she wants to raise a well-rounded and knowledgeable son. While specific details about his schooling have been kept private, it's clear that education is a priority in their family. In addition to academics, Tyra encourages York's creative side, whether it's drawing, building with blocks, or exploring the world around him. Tyra makes sure that York has plenty of opportunities to express himself. She said to People in year 2018 how important it is to allow children to develop their own interests and passions. And she's happy to support York in whatever he loves to do. As regards her effort to shield him away from the public, there have been a few occasions where he has been seen in public with her. Tyra has been careful not to expose York too much to the media, but on rare occasions, they have been spotted together. For example, Tyra was seen with York on outings in Los Angeles, often keeping it casual and low-key to avoid drawing too much attention. In one of her interviews, Tyra mentioned that York has been learning multiple languages, reflecting her desire to give him a global perspective. According to her, the young chap speaks 3 languages, and they are English, Spanish, and Norwegian. She has also shared stories about his curiosity and how he constantly asks questions about the world, which she loves. Tyra takes pride in York's intelligence and inquisitiveness, and she enjoys nurturing his learning. More than being a young linguist, York also has a knack for recognizing colors. The proud mom said in an interview, "My son is amazing with his colors. He has friends in his class that are still struggling to pronounce the color red, but my son is already up to silver and rose gold." Beaming with a smile, she continued, "He has also been counting up to 20 since he was around 18 months, so he is a smart boy." On social media, Tyra sometimes shares snippets of their life. While she doesn't show York's face, she posts about their activities. Sometimes, it could be about spending time outdoors, doing creative projects, or having fun at home. Through these posts, Tyra's love for her son is evident, and she often speaks about how being a mother has transformed her life. The boy is 8 years old now. What is he up to? Let's find out. York Banks Asla. Today. During COVID-19 in year 2020, Tyra posted on her social media to show that she was homeschooling York. In a particular post, she uploaded a picture of her son's art with a caption that said, "Trying to keep homeschooling popping. Slide to see my homemade coloring book creation that started this work of art colored in by my Lil Boo." Tyra has mentioned that York is a mix of both her and Erik Asla, not only in terms of looks but also in the way he carries himself. At 8, York seems to be tall for his age, a trait he seems to have inherited from his supermodel mom. Even though Tyra is careful not to reveal his face in most posts, you can tell that he's growing up fast. Physically, York appears to have inherited a combination of features from both Tyra and Erik. Personality-wise, York has both his mother, Tyra's confidence, and Erik's calm manners. Tyra has shared that York is incredibly curious and always asking questions, which shows his intelligence and inquisitive nature. He's also described as a happy and energetic child, much like his mom, who has always been known for her high-energy personality. Erik Asla's creative influence is also present in York. Tyra has mentioned how much York enjoys drawing and building things. Another creative side of York is music. Yes, the young chap seems to have something for rap music. In an Instagram video Tyra posted on January 2021, York could be seen spitting some rhymes about lettuce wraps. In the video, her mother, Tyra Banks, joined him as they continued to rap about what seemed like the boy's favorite vegetable. It's surprising how this creative side is already showing, despite how young he is, isn't it? since he will only get better at these things. It will be interesting to see how these traits shape York's interests and personality as he continues to advance in age. As York continued to grow, Tyra has often talked about how motherhood has changed her life in ways she never imagined. For example, she said in an exclusive interview with People, "Anytime I gaze into York's eyes, my heart goes out to every woman who would like to have their children but is going through fertility issues." Tyra continued by saying, "Watching York grow older has been both rewarding and eye-opening." During interviews, Tyra has said that every stage of motherhood comes with new challenges and new joys. As York gets older, she's had to adjust her parenting style to match his needs. She has talked about how important it is for her to raise York to be kind, and as he becomes more independent, she's making sure to guide him through the values she believes in. Now let's talk about their plans for York's future. With such a high-profile mom and a creative father, it's only natural that people are curious about what York's future holds. Some speculate that York could follow in Tyra's footsteps and enter the modeling or entertainment world. Given his striking features and his exposure to the fashion and entertainment industry through his mother, it's easy to imagine York pursuing a similar career path. However, Tyra has been very clear that she doesn't want York to follow in her path. Why? You may want to ask. She said she wouldn't want her son growing up with the kind of attention that comes with modeling. Nevertheless, she will be willing to support her if he ever shows interest. Also, she admits that the boy keeps showing that he might model someday with the way he smizes. Yes, the word smizing is not an English vocabulary, as it was invented by Tyra herself during her days as a model. When asked what it means, she said smize means to smile with one's eyes, and it is what her son seems to do well and naturally too. At this point, though, York is still young, so it's hard to predict what he'll be passionate about as he grows older. However, with his parents' strong support and the values they are instilling in him, it's clear that York will have the freedom to explore his own interests and decide what path he wants to take in the future. What do you think about Tyra Banks and her son? Do you think her fear about his son's potential interest in modeling is unfounded? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video, do well to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on videos like this.